And joining us live now to respond to this and so much more is Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. As always, thank you so much for joining us here on News On. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And after listening to that, you can see why I voted for the second time today to remove Liz Cheney from the chair of the GOP conference. You know, that's really something. The media today is talking about how Liz Cheney is a martyr. Well, she only just became a martyr for the Democrat Party and the military-industrial complex. With talk like that, I don't even think she should call herself a Republican anymore.
Yeah, there's been, I want to get to that too, because there's been some divisions within the Republican Party. As you know, now reports of a dozen Republicans threatening to form a new party because they disapprove of the support of former President Donald Trump. What's your reaction to that? Is the party that divided?
Well, that's only, we know of 10, and then there's 11. So there, you know, there is that 10 that voted to impeach President Trump, and then there's the 11 that voted with the Democrats to remove me from committees. So that's about the number, a dozen. But we have a tremendous amount more of Republicans in Congress. So I don't call that a big division. I call that about, you know, you could call that a dozen dummies that aren't connected with Republican voters, have no idea how Republican regular Americans really feel and really want. So I say let them create their little group, and we'll see how it turns out for them in 2022.
I also want to talk about possible replacements for Liz Cheney's position. So, including President Trump, are calling for Representative Elise Stefanik to replace her as the chairwoman of the House Republican Conference. But you have actually been pretty vocal about wanting more options. Why don't you support her? Because this is some of the tweets that you've said about her.
Yes, you know, President Trump absolutely loves her and has endorsed her because she fought for him during impeachment. And that's something that I really appreciate Elise Stefanik for. However, her voting record is not conservative. As a matter of fact, it's moderate at best, and she's voted with the Democrats many times. She's also voted against President Trump's agenda during his time when he was president. And I don't think that's a good thing. So we're going to be meeting with Elise tonight with the House Freedom Caucus, and I'm very much looking forward to that meeting because I have some specific questions to ask her. I'd like to ask her how she plans to vote going forward, because if it's going to continue to be the same moderate voting record, I just can't support that as chair of our conference. And, you know, the chair of our conference is, according to her letter, she wants to control the messaging coming from leadership out of the GOP conference. And someone that votes with Democrats and has such a moderate voting record and has voted against America First agenda items, this is not the message that I want to see coming out of the GOP conference. And as a matter of fact, this is not the message that resonates with over 75% of our Republican voting base.